B is on fire. Could he be making a return to the top in Season 9 with the upcoming tournaments? I'm getting a good feeling. One and all, welcome back to the Age of Empires 4 action. We are into the 4th game of this best of 5 upper bracket final between 3D Clans B in the orange on the Ottomans. The newly buffed Ottomans. New units, new groove. And Anatan's looking to show us that Delhi are just rising through the ranks. Dome of Faith on the rise. And Anatan's Delhi in particular has been a sight for rise. A wonderful execution from this lad multiple times so far in the last few weeks. Let's see what he's got in the blue. We are on Rocky River. Decent map for Delhi. I really like this one for them. Ottomans is a bit of a question mark sometimes because historically they've been taking a more defensive lap. I think with the changes we've been seeing here, Ottomans can play aggressive again. For a start, at the absolute highest level, we've seen players get phenomenally effective at utilizing Sipahi. But then on another level, we now have prolonged feudals that can lead into cav archers. And folks, cav archers are kind of broken if you're able to scale to that point. 8 damage times 2 on a mobile unit for 180 resources. A mobile unit as in they are quicker than knights. I've been impressed by cav archers. They're not easy to get into. I don't think they're broken in the late game. I think their speciality will be feudal castle, which of course is usually where Delhi like to reside. We'll see if Anatan's able to be the blocker here. Ghazi should be the play. I imagine we're going to be looking at Dome of Faith in this matchup. Good question coming in. Who wins, Sipahi or Ghazi? Direct fight, Sipahi win. But a wider macro game that gets played, Ghazi have a good shot because they can outrun Sipahi. And also because Sipahi costs more, you tend to have more Ghazi, right? So you can split on the map more. The reason why Sipahi can win in the big fight is because when you clash, the second wave of Sipahi can attack while the Ghazi clamber over themselves. Then, of course, there's the effective HP. 155 for Ghazi. Sipahi. Meanwhile, Ghazi down to 135 from 145. So they got kneecapped pretty hard there. But this landmark in particular buffed through the roof. Dome of the Faith, just so good these days. The discount has made it worthwhile. 65 gold per scholar has led to a lot of variability, a lot of extra options, which the Delhi formerly didn't have. Teching isn't scary anymore because you're just able to afford mass scholars. Going for that first sacred site and getting sniped isn't scary because you're able to afford mass scholars. And B apparently wants to be able to afford a Golden Kingdom here. Sultanate trade network coming through, suggesting we might not have that much feudal presence out of the 3D clan member. Yeah, this is usually more indicative of a Castle Age Rush type build. 1 second. I've got other results being finungled. Have we got Myriad here? Oh, wait, this is for the semi-finals, loser finals. All right, we'll double check that one afterwards. That may have been a misclick and a registering a Myriad beating Louis, which I don't think happened. Myriad's like, I'm in the finals? Anyway, Sultanate Table Network about to complete. Usually, if someone wants to play H2, you'll see Madrissa because it gives that balance point that they can be present in the feudal age and not have to worry about food as much. Also, I find Madrissa's nicer if you want to try to do something funky, i.e. not go for Anatolian Hills first. But whenever you go network, you have to go Anatolian. You get starved otherwise, unless your opponent is not scouting. But we already highlighted how Anatan is like one of the best scouters we've seen recently. 16 sheep for him. Good haul for B. 16 himself, and we've got a deer shove in. Love this. Such a fast shove. You wouldn't expect this. Typically, you expect people to shove the flank deer, but he's taking it from the center. It's only 3 deer, but that is an extra 1,000 resources, or 950 resources to be specific to work with. Sorry, 1,050 resources to be specific to work with. Military school, of course, allowing to do this, and this is a nice blocker against the Ghazi opening you're going to be anticipating. Anatan already queuing up as many scholars as he can buy. And if this is just spears to defend, this is really good because it means that Anatan can get his hands on the sacred sites with no contest. But B is going to have something to say about that, folks. We're getting some feudal presence. Ooh, so, Sipahi, I'm trying to remember the order of the new Vizier Council. For those who don't know, they added 4 new options for the Ottomans. So you've got the Cav Archers we mentioned, a brand new unit. You've got Pax Ottomana, which comes much later, I think it's tier 4, which gives you 50% increased production rate on your TCs for 4 minutes, which sounds ludicrous in the right circumstances, but very situational. You can get a great bombard at any point in the game. One will spawn at your TC. It's a one-offer. And then the final thing is you can get crossbow emplacements instead of arrow emplacements. I think Cav Archers is the most likely, but it's not going to make sense unless Anatan does something other than Ghazi. But now, though, we are getting Raxes added in, so might just be for the upgrade into Hardened for the Spearmen, because remember they're in Dark Age right now. But I don't mind the idea of Sipahi support by Spears. You frontline with the Spears, they brace, and the Sipahi stab over. It's a fantastic DPS exchange, and because you're true countering, it means that Anatan can't cheese his way to healing off of mass Dome of Faith play. What I would also love to see here, by the way, visitor point-wise, is right now, we are trucking towards a mass melee fight. Do you know how you win that as Ottomans? The Imams. The Imam point gives you AoE healing, which means although Anatan might show up with 6 scholars, if he can't snipe your 2 Imams in a big bulky fight where 20 plus units are taking damage, your healing will be more effective. Yeah, looks like we did get a lame on the deer, so Anatan understood what was coming. B won't get that for free. First Sipahi, he is going to start to arrive in the base, and this is what I meant about the stats. 12, 155 HP. 135, 12. Difference is movement speed advantage for Ghazi, but the cost difference is much smaller. 140 compared to 160. So Sipahi feel a lot better, especially once you start layering in the free production from the military schools. What's the plan behind this? I mean, the mass spears is kind of smuggled. Love the way that this has started to weave its way in. Pro Scouts has been returning in popularity for a lot of civs, but it's really good for the Delhi because of the Dome of Faith build. You get it very aggressively fast. And obviously adding in 1 or 2 extra scouts from an already existing stable isn't that high of a price if it keeps your entire eco safe. Spear Clash coming in. Sipahi is starting to arrive as well to kind of equal the numbers. You can see that Anatan wants no part of it. This is the trade-off of not going Tower of Victory. You can't just turn and win these fights, especially when there's a risk of a meta just turning up. Ghazi frontlining, an ambitious move by Anatan there. Sipahi coming in on delay. We'll have to pull them back. This trade was so good for Anatan. For V, rather. Anatan got baited into a weird exchange. Frontline with the Ghazi against that many spears. A critical blunder, and now he mops up on the back of it. Heavy injuries on all the Ghazi. Count does at least favor Anatan, but destruction-wise, they're actually now neck and neck. So second wave will cinch it. B now having to run away with a slower-moving cavalry unit. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. The opening was sick from B, but Anatan just taking advantage of that superior production wave, right? Every 8 seconds a spearman. Meanwhile, with the blacksmithing range, still 12 seconds for the Ottomans. So you're seeing how he's struggling in B, now trying to fix that. He's going to go double production. But that's now extra economy, not going into military force, but going into the ability to build them. So a window of opportunity here for Anatan in the game where he's already starting to lock in sacred sites. Keep in mind there is a Feudal Plus coming. While Anatan has this, the damage was never done healing type effect with his army comp, what B has is the scaling of Vizier Council. He will get these perks, things like the Imams, the Meta, Antonio Hills, that will give him kind of an extra edge in longer feudal engagements. So it's really important that Anatan gets bigger and bigger wins between now and about 14 minutes. Right now, it definitely seems like it's going that way. Meta's the only thing left over. The Spearman able to start mopping that up, and that B trying to A-click his way to a victory in a situation that just doesn't support it here. Having now back up. Doesn't really still have the Meta to work with, but heavily injured, down to 62 HP already. Love the melee defense. The melee defense is sick here. He has got Bloomery coming through as well. That's a free damage differential in these armies. I almost feel like B could just mass spears instead of Sipahi, and he'd be better off here. Yeah, I actually think the Sipahi production is killing B. He can't afford it. It's too demanding from this type of lead. One thing that is deceptive, we have to remember Anatan, although it says he's 24 military, he's actually 16. Right? A third of that are scholars. But in this situation, it's not a fake army, and what I mean by that is what they're doing here. This healing is making the world a difference. Check the health bars, and look at these. Ugh. Yeah, I think Anatan is kind of... I think he's forgotten about blacksmiths. And I am getting worried because we said about the 3 damage differential. It's about to be 4. This is the most impactful melee game difference I've seen. Like, the meta is always good in these circumstances if it's a full melee army. But I have never seen this drastic of a difference. It's quality versus quantity to its truest form. Spears. There we get that starting pinch. Healing will offset some of the damage differential here, but it's still overwhelming. And now the Scholar's front line in the Sipahi can chase that down. Anatan, what a blunder. Not going for a blacksmiths at 11 minutes still. Means he can't fight. Has to back away. B. Mass Spears is the way. Archer transition coming through from Anatan, though. Might be the smart read. He's got enough Ghazi. When did he seek this one? One archery range was good enough. It's still, like, wait. His keybinds are messed up. Oh, no! Oh, Anatan, what? I think he's pressing the wrong key, guys. That's double blacksmiths. That's meant to be double blacksmiths right there. Army's losing right now. The archer count's not high enough. The Scholars are front lining. He's going to lose because of a keybind. He misclicked not once, but twice. Double marketplace instead of double blacksmiths. Mass archers are now coming through, but you don't have blacksmiths. Finally we get it in. Undermesh now being rushed up. It's coming in just a minute. Is this enough for B to take control? Sacred sites have all been decapped. Deer being gathered as well. Double marketplace, folks. New meta. Oh my god. Horseman. What a find! No outpost up. That's 4 dead villagers. No textiles because Anatan didn't think he'd ever need it. And GG gets called. B. It looked like he was trekking for a defeat. But the melee efficiency, the lack of blacksmiths, the Ottomans OP in Feudal Age against Delhi. Who would have seen that coming?